All right, what's going on YouTube? Back again here on live. I got the camera off right now. I can turn it back on, but I'm walking, so I may turn it back on after I get done with this first round. I've explained in other videos that I don't like to have it on while I'm walking because it just, to me, it kind of distracts from the actual video. And I've watched videos where I'm walking around and it was annoying me. So if it's annoying me, I'm sure it might be annoying other people. I mean, maybe not. I don't know. But anyway, I wanted to talk about purpose. I hear a lot of people talk about purpose and needing to find your purpose in life. And I hear people say things like, when I say I hear, I'm talking about me personally. I'm talking about different videos I see on YouTube or different posts online. Like, how you have like posts and stories and stuff on social media. I'm on social media a lot. I mean, oh shit. Sorry. Why is the screen? Maybe you will lose it. What the heck? Okay. Sorry. My screen got taken off of my work screen on my cell phone, on my work phone. But anyway, I hear lots of people talk about purpose and, how it's important that if you don't have a purpose, you'll be kind of just walking aimlessly in life and you won't really have a, direction, or if you don't have a purpose, you'll feel unfulfilled. So you need to find out, what your purpose is, finding out what your purpose is, how important that is. And, just that basically talking point. I hear it a lot. I see it a lot. And I have different feelings about the idea of having purpose because, me personally, I personally have spent a lot of time trying to, figure out what my so-called purpose is and just trying to figure out what that is for me. I've spent a lot of time trying to figure out, what's important to me. And I keep going back and forth between, money and, doing what, makes me feel good, and I kind of feel like I keep getting pulled back and forth between two different versions of myself. I was thinking this the other day, and I was actually going to make a video about it, another live about it, but I decided not to because, I actually be thinking about stuff a lot, constantly actually, and I'd be wanting to make more live videos, but I'd be thinking I don't want to make too many lives because, I don't know. I mean, I kind of feel like it can become redundant, but at the same time too, I've also heard that, the more live videos you make, the more the algorithm will recognize, your channel. So it could be a good thing, So, and then also too, with me, I'm starting up this new format of streaming, which I posted a post on my YouTube homepage that I will be basically scheduling at least one podcast style live streaming every Sunday. And since that's my day off, I'll be streaming until, whenever. I don't really have a set time, at least not right now. You know, I'll just talk until, either I get tired or, everybody signs out, or just until whenever, because times on Sundays after I sleep, get certain things done. A lot of times I'm kind of bored anyway. So, if I could have a good, discourse or conversation with people on live, I'm all for it. So starting this Sunday, I will be talking on live in my camper, in my RV, with my new microphone that I invested in to get. And I mean, that was just my startup one. I'm going to get a better one, but it's definitely better than what I had. I'm just not trying to spend because those things can get really expensive. The DJIs and stuff like that. I'm not trying to go crazy on equipment right now, but I'm slowly kind of, investing in just this hobby, because it is a hobby for me. It's not a job. And depending on, what it does or doesn't do, I may get a little bit better, higher quality microphone with better sound quality. It all just kind of depends. Again, this is just kind of like a hobby for me. This is not a job for me. I don't really intend for YouTube to be a job for me, at least not right now. But I mean, I'm open to it if it kind of transitions into that naturally. But I'm not a person that is depending on streaming for a form of income right now. So I'm not really trying to go crazy with investing in, equipment, to that extent right now, at least, Also too, I still will be doing the moto vlogs. I've been just having trouble. Well, okay, so first and foremost, my motorcycle has been in and out the shop. Just been having some things. I mean, it still rides decent. There's just some programming issues that I'm trying to really get worked out good. I'm just trying to get the engine running as efficiently as it can. So I got it back the other day, but it's something else I want to get looked at. So basically fuel mapping, trying to get my throttle response dialed in really good. So that's been one of the things that's been kind of holding up my moto vlogs. I know I've been talking about that. And then also too, I brought like 2 microphones in place for the helmet. For me personally, it's not really it's the sound quality is still not good. So that's been part of the issue why I haven't been streaming as much as well when I did have it. So I just, with moto vlogging, with the wind resistance and wind sound of the wind, you have to have a really good microphone, and you have to have it set up good right. You have to have it set up right for you to have a decent sound quality while you're riding down the road. So I'm still trying to get a lot of that figured out, but I definitely do still plan on having a moto vlog. I'm just trying to, it's a lot. I mean, it is a lot. It's a lot in getting all that set up to where you can have good sound and picture quality. I got the picture part down. I mean, the camera is solid. It's just the biggest thing right now is just me getting that sound quality of the microphone and voice quality while I'm riding with the wind in the background. I have to get a really good microphone that's able to cancel out that wind noise, because when you're riding down the road, if you got the wind blowing, it's just really hard to hear me while I'm talking. But that is definitely still in the works. It's just, it's different setups. It's more involved in that setup than what I realized. It's a little bit more equipment. I'm finding out that you have to get a receiver and stuff like, I mean, you don't have to, but those guys that have that really clear sound in their moto vlogs, they have like a transmitter, and it's a certain type of mic they have and that's the reason why it sounds so clear. So and it can be pricey. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, I'm working on getting that set up still, but that's still coming in the near future because I am passionate about that style of vlogging. I definitely still want to do it. It's just, a lot of these things, I thought it was just something that I can just kind of throw together and just kind of ride. But it's a little bit more technical than what I thought, but I can figure it out. I mean, I don't think it's that complicated. It's just I got to take more time and just basically do it the right way. Give me 1 second, y'all. All right, 1 second. So yeah, the moto vlog. Sorry, this cold weather's got me kind of more stuffy than usual. I don't know if it's my allergies were doing better, but I don't know if it's my diet. I don't know. They were doing better, but it seems like they're just recently starting to kind of flare up again. Anyway, but yeah, so the moto vlog is still coming. And then obviously I have the new, podcast style. And with the podcast style, live streaming, I mean, I intend for that to be a space of just, interacting with different people in real time, conversating about real life topics, and just, kind of vibing and just, having real interaction, like real life, real time interaction, not just, I mean, I like that. I go on other people's streams to, have real time interaction. Because sometimes that's the only form of interaction I get, even though it's across, the computer, normal. I mean, typically like honestly, like that's pretty much, I don't really have friends that I hang out with like that. So typically, unless I'm working, I don't really talk to people, I'll, drop in and say hey to my parents every now and then, but, I don't really be around nobody like that. So I think it's really good social environment to just kind of, have interactions and discussions, thought-provoking conversations, just to think about, different topics that may, matter to us in our life, so that's what I'm basically, making this style of podcast for. Is for interaction. It's, for some social interaction, maybe social connection. I mean, I had got an Uber today, and the Uber driver, we just started having a conversation. They were just like telling me about how, they wanted to move out the country, and it was an engineer, and they were like just started going into a lot of the things about this country that they don't like, and how, just by talking to this guy, he just made me realize that I really wanted to, really take my nomadic endeavor seriously. I mean, I already kind of was, but he was giving me advice for like really good places to visit that he's been himself. And, it's just inspiring when you talk to people that have actually, kind of gotten out and seen things that you haven't gotten to see yet. He told me about some really beautiful places in this country that, he's been. And one of the places was Colorado, like the Grand Canyon. I think somewhere else was like Wyoming, Washington, the Pacific Northwest, like places like that. He was like, man, those places are beautiful. You have to see it. And I'm like, yeah, that's some of the places that I want to go and travel to, and see. And he was like, yeah, man, he's just got to the point to where, he's ready to venture outside the country because of, the conditions that he feels that this country has gotten into. He's just talking about how a lot of things here, in his opinion, have kind of, decayed, and he's just kind of worried for his kids, and he wants to make sure that his kids have a safe environment to grow up in and stuff like that. So he's, thinking about, moving out of the country. And he was an engineer, and he was like, he has experience. He was like, yeah, he's having a hard time, finding a job. I'm like, damn, like, if you're an engineer and you're having a hard time finding a job, like, damn, like, we need engineers. So, like, what is going on where an experienced engineer is having a hard time, finding work, Like, I never thought that I would hear about an engineer, having a hard time. We need engineers. Engineers are like the main ones that kind of keep shit going. I don't know if it's a mechanical engineer or electrical engineer or a, computer engineer or whatever. Engineer in general, that should be something in all sectors that, we need and can do without. So when he said that, it kind of made me think like, well, damn, like, what's really going on? But anyway, just talking to him, conversating, he kept apologizing because he felt like he was talking too much. I was like, nah, man. I said, you're good. I said, I don't really talk to people a lot because, I'm not really around nobody, so, because he kept thinking that he was talking too much. And I'm like, nah, are you good, bro? Like, I said, I haven't, like I said, outside of like working, and it's especially here, like here, I like the isolation. I like the quietness. But again, sometimes really good things can have a bad side to it too. While this job, this shift, I love the isolation. I love the fact that I don't have anybody, kind of, calling me up and checking in on me and kind of breathing down my back. I love that. It's very peaceful here on this shift. I believe that it's healthy for everybody, no matter how much of an introvert you consider yourself to be, to have some level of social interaction in your life. Even if it's like once a week. For me, my social interaction is like when I go on my second job at Waffle House. I don't really like the job that much, but the staff is pretty cool. They joke around, and they it's just they conversate, they joke around, like they be like doing kind of silly shit, like they'll like throw if they have a bad waffle that comes out, why the fuck do they keep putting this shit in here like this? Damn. Anyway. Oh, Lord. These fucking workers, man, they keep jamming these things in the damn door. I'm like, look at this shit. I'll show you. They hold on. Like, this door is supposed to be locked. They keep putting this shit in here and to keep the doors unlocked. But every night when they leave, these doors are all supposed to be locked. The workers here, they'll put these, and it was in here just now, like jammed in there to keep this down so that this stays unlocked. it's just like if you leave, like just if you're trying to keep it, I don't know, unlocked to go in and out easily, that's fine. But like they know that they know my bad. My bad. Okay, sorry. Sorry, I had to make sure that my mute was I thought that I had hit the mute button by mistake and I had to check and make sure. But anyway, yeah, they know that all of these doors are supposed to be locked, you know, when they leave. But they do this shit every night or every shift that they're here. And I'm just like, bro, like, I don't know, like, make it, man. Then they act like they're annoyed that we take them out. But, like, it's literally our job to make sure that all these doors are locked and that the building is secured. I'm just like, and they do it every day. I don't understand it. Like, it makes absolutely no sense to me. But you know what? I'm not going to complain because it just, gives me a job, I guess. It's just, I don't understand stupid shit like that. It's just like, I don't know. I'm not really even sure what that's about. And evidently, like, these cones got, like, knocked over by the wind. So I'm going to go and put those back up because, they're supposed to be up. So I'm going to do that and, yeah, keep it moving. But, yeah, so, yeah, most of my social interaction is, believe it or not, is really when I go to work. And I actually kind of talk to the customer, and I ain't gonna lie, y'all, I used to be kind of like annoyed by just interacting with people, but I kind of realized over time, like, it's kind of good to conversate with people. And I also kind of started looking at it like this too. Like I see the faces on certain people that come through late night Waffle House. And you know how you can kind of tell and feel, certain types of people don't really get much social interaction in their life. And some people just really just want you to say hi to them, and I don't mean that in an egotistical kind of way, but some people just want to be acknowledged, and I just kind of started sensing that. And I noticed that just by simply having a small dialogue or conversation with people, it just seemed like it kind of just, brightened up their energy just a small, tiny bit, just by saying, hey, yeah, whatever we're talking about. Yeah, how's it going? Yeah, it's all right, so and so. And just kind of being, a person to interact with that recognizes them, that acknowledges them, that says, hey, I see you, you know what I'm saying? Nothing crazy, just, I don't know. And again, I don't know if this is just in my mind, but it's just, I just started to feel that people, like, in other words, like, people need to be recognized or acknowledged. Just, if everybody just starts walking around completely, just ignoring everybody and just kind of creating like this zombie society where nobody cares to acknowledge the human. Oh shit! What the fuck? Okay. Anyway, the humanity in one another. I feel like that can, I don't know, it has a very negative effect on the world. And maybe I'm being a little bit dramatic about it, but I just feel like it does something in a very small way where when you just simply, in a sincere way, tell someone to have a good day and let someone know that, hey, I'm glad you're still breathing. Or, hey, looks like you're having a bad day, but hey, it's going to get better. Like sometimes that shit can, hey, it may not seem like nothing to you, but sometimes that shit means a lot to somebody, So, that general idea kind of made me just be a person that kind of started not being so closed off to, talking to people and conversating. Like, I don't talk to me, like I started kind of looking at it a little bit differently. I still don't like to talk too much, but, I feel like it makes a difference in people's lives when you just acknowledge them and see them, as a human being and say, hey, basically you do matter, and, you matter. It's a small thing, but just little small, it's not the big things. Most people, we think that it's always about some huge display to make the world better. But a lot of times, in my opinion, it's about small, tiny things that make the huge difference, because that person that you talk to could have just been in a space of, nobody knows I exist. I don't have a wife. I don't have a girlfriend. I don't have a family. I'm just kind of existing, trying to figure out life, trying to make a way, trying to, be better and shit like that. But it kind of just seems like an uphill battle, an uphill struggle. And I can relate to that feeling a lot because I feel like that a lot of days. And a lot of people are questioning, what's the point, and a lot of people on the edge. I seen a video the other day of a woman, and this women and men go through this. And honestly, kind of made me realize that, I kind of got to stop being, in some ways, partial to the whole topic of loneliness, because I've been under the impression that men are more lonely than women, because women it's just easier for women to get like male attention. But apparently, maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe my views are just a little bit biased because I'm a man, and if I'm wrong about that, I'm willing to, it's just hard when certain things you see really control how you see reality. And I try not to be, I don't know, like overly judgmental, but I have to be judgmental in a sense, because if you don't judge situations and people, you're going to keep going through the same things. If you don't basically become very, very aware of certain situations that affected you in a negative way, then you're going to keep experiencing those things. So, if I judge a person, it's because I see patterns in your behavior that's telling me, hey, danger, you've experienced this before, because how else can we stop from experiencing things that are very detrimental to our being, to our mental health, So what is this? Why is this here? This is random stuff. I don't know why this is here. It's just weird. Okay. I'm not going to move this because I don't know. But yeah, it's for me. It's about I And a lot of times, like people, they'll think that you're mean, or it's just like, I'm sorry, like if you're showing me patterns, the same patterns of behavior, I have no reason to take you seriously. And people can't understand that. Like they think you're just being mean or having bad energy. It's just like, no. Like me personally, I am extremely careful. And I'm talking about me personally when it comes to who I interact with, especially in a romantic dynamic. I am extremely, extremely careful about who any woman I let into my space, because I have seen the damage that women can do to men. I'm talking about myself personally, and I'm talking about what I've seen other men go through. Like I'm I'm very, very, very careful. I'm very cautious, and I'm a little bit overcautious, and maybe I am, but it's like because I understand. Again, I understand the damage that can be done, and it can't be undone. It cannot be. Everyone talks about healing, and you gotta just let it. Like no, there is no such thing as letting it go. You just learn to deal. You learn to live with the damage that has been done. I don't believe in healing in the sense of, oh, it just goes away. You know, I don't think it ever goes away. I don't think that pain ever truly goes away. To me, I feel like you just learn how to deal with it. You learn how to deal with that betrayal. You learn how to deal with that lack of trust that you have from that woman or that man or that relationship or that marriage. But I don't think anybody will ever forget when people stab them in the back. You know, when people that they trusted and truly just gave the benefit of the doubt stabbed them in the back. I don't think you'll ever get that version of yourself back. You just live, you learn to live with the hurt to where you're not constantly suffering. You know what I'm saying? And for me, how I do that is, at least right now, is I just see the situation for what it is. I say, this is what happened. This is probably why it happened. And it's as simple as that. It is what it is. I could have done things perfectly and it might have still happened, So yeah, I mean, kind of got off topic a little bit, but give me 1 second, y'all. Let me pause this for 1 second. Okay, we are back. Sorry, I'm trying to get this screen to come back up. Why is it like not giving me the option? All right, we're back. Sorry, I had some technical difficulties. Like when I tried to open up the screen again, it wasn't giving me the option to reverse the camera. And I'm about to turn this camera off again because, again, it's just moving around. I mean, if y'all don't care, I mean, I don't know, but I don't like to have the camera on me when I'm walking around because it's just moving around, and so I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it off again. I know I'm kind of indecisive, but anyway. But yeah, so I forget where I was at in the conversation, but I think I was saying something about how, oh yeah, like I'm really, really careful about, the type of people, and especially when it comes to dating or anyone that I'm potentially interested in. Like, there was this one girl not so long ago, I thought she was kind of cute, and like she Like she asked me. She was like, I want to go on a motorcycle ride, and I was like, all right, cool. You want to go? And then we like made plans to go, and then like she just like didn't show up. Like I'm like, nigga, you asked me. I didn't ask you. And like when she like to me, and then she just basically just ghosted. And like after that, like I'm really strict about when it comes to dating or any kind of female interaction, because that's my way of filtering out females that are going to either waste my time or that are on some 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 stupid shit. I hate women that waste my time and my energy. And for me, I'm a person that is very much about principles. Like I'm flexible, but there's just certain things that I don't really tolerate, and it's women that waste my time and my energy. So with her, she when the time came, she's like, "Hey, we're gonna go on this day or this day. Hit me up, and then we're gonna make plans." Cute little light skinned joint, and I'm like, "All right, cool." So I hit her up that day, no answer. I'm like, "All right, cool." The day got a little bit later. I'm gonna only hit you up like once, maybe twice, and if you don't answer, game over. So I hit her up again, like, "Hey, you still trying to like link up and go riding?" No answer. Now it would have been different if she would have said, "Hey, I couldn't get a babysitter or something because she got kids, I think," and would have just simply said that, But it's like no call, no show. Like you don't have the decency when you basically reached out to me and said you wanted to go riding. You don't have the decency or common courtesy to at least say, "Hey, I can't go again," or whatever. You can't do that. To me, that tells me a lot about a person. It tells me you're very selfish. It tells me that you don't respect my time. It tells me that you're a very erratic person. So yeah, I blocked her. So now you no longer have access into my life, because by me blocking you, that's my way of filtering out the type of women that annoy the fuck out of me. So when you're blocked, that's me filtering out women that I don't like certain characteristics about them. Again, if she would have just at least said, "Hey, I'm sorry, this thing conveniently just kind of messed up, my plans, and I apologize." Like, no, nothing. Just nothing. No type of explanation. And then pop up like a week later, like, "Hey, what's going on?" Like, what you mean what's going on? Hold on one second, y'all. All right, I'm back. Sorry. But yeah, like I don't play when it comes to, and it's only because like for me, and I know a lot of women will take it the wrong way if you block somebody, but I only have gotten to that point because I learned to have a certain level of respect. But here's the thing: if you don't certain level of respect, but here's the thing: if you don't respect yourself, women won't respect you. And don't get me wrong, I know there's a lot of other guys that look better than me and got a lot more going on than me, and she probably couldn't give two fucks less if I blocked her. I'm not stupid. I know how the game goes. She's probably got a man trying to fuck her for every day of the week. But again, for me, I'm a principled man. That's my way of telling myself that, hey, you don't deserve to get ghosted or just kind of be somebody's, like, you know, third or fourth option, or when the main nigga that's fucking you is acting weird or not giving you the attention you want, you know, I'll entertain you, and then the moment he gives you the attention you want again, you kind of just ghost me. Because a lot of times, stuff like that, that's what it is. A lot of women, and men, guys do it too. They like to have what they call placeholders. So they'll kind of entertain some guy and kind of make it seem like, you know, they're trying to, have a thing, and then just until the main nigga that they want starts acting right, or, starts treating them the way that they want to be treated again. I don't fall for that shit. I'm not, and again, I wasn't born yesterday. I know that most women, they take many men for granted because there's so many men in their DMs that are, especially if they're attractive, that are constantly trying to take their clothes off, basically. I'm not stupid. I know how this shit works. But again, I really feel like if men started having higher standards and just learn how to walk away when women do stuff like that, women wouldn't be so quick to take for granted male attention and male relationships. I feel like the reason why a lot of the things that women do is because they feel like there's no consequences. And I know I kind of switched topics a little bit, but I hear so many men complaining about, women are like this and they're like this. And I understand, I get it. But there's a certain level of shit that you have to take responsibility for. And I hate even saying that because it sounds cliche. But in other words, if you knew there was consequences for certain things you did, you're not going to do them. We as men, or a lot of men rather, they complain about women not taking accountability for when they do something wrong. But think about it from their point of view. Most men today are so thirsty for women, for sex, just to be around a woman, that they'll basically accept any behavior that a woman, has. Whether she's just promiscuous, if she's a cheater, if she's a liar. A lot of these men are like, man, she's so fine, I don't want to complain because she might leave me. And so it's gotten so bad now to where men are kind of just accepting it because, hey, I can't get another woman that's pretty. If I complain, she might get mad and leave me. And so this is how weak men have gotten, and I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I used to be like that. I used to just say, hey, if I just ignore all these red flags, to avoid conflict or argument, to avoid a breakup, because I don't want to be alone. If I just don't say nothing, it'll get better. Like, no, it gets worse. I used to be like that because I'm like, man, I don't want to give up having, getting sex on a regular basis. I don't want to give that up. You know what I'm saying? I like getting laid, but it got to a point to where the shit it started to feel so draining. The things that I was allowing myself to accept, that my soul kind of started to reject this kind of behavior, and it got so bad to where I felt like I was fighting myself because I was pretending to be okay with certain shit, thinking that, if I say something, then she's going to accuse me of being insecure, controlling, A narcissist, basically all the gaslighting things that narcissist women do to basically get you to keep quiet and accept certain types of behaviors so that they can keep perpetuating certain behaviors that they have and always have had. And so, so that they can keep being that kind of person, but get the benefits of being with you. Again, they will call you insecure. It will call you controlling, possessive, stuff like that. And, and if you're not careful, you will start to believe it. And, I did that for a while, but I don't know. It was almost like at one point, it got to a point to where my spirit, my soul, whatever you want to call it, almost had to step in, because this woman she got to be so toxic to me, to where like I actually loved this girl, but she was literally, I feel like, making me sick, because this is just the type of shit she was doing, and I tried my hardest to make her happy. When you try your hardest to make a woman happy and she's just never satisfied, and you've been doing everything you can to make this woman happy, to make things work, it's a different type of toxicity, And when I truly realized how toxic she was, and my soul kind of just stepped in and just blocked her, because she was really good about pulling me back in. She was really good. Sex was really good. And she was just really good with just always reeling me back in. And she knew how much I loved her. You know what I'm saying? So like when women know that you really love them, oh man, if that same love and respect is not reciprocated, they will use that as a weapon against you. And they will say, okay, I can get away with a lot of shit because of how much this guy likes me. And once I realized that, it was like my soul was just like, all right, bro, I gotta take the wheel, because I know you gotta end this, but let me intervene and do what you're not able to do. I know you love this girl, but bro, you can't keep doing this to yourself. So yeah, like another version of me was like, all right, nah, you done, it's over. Like Kanye said, it's up. It's up. You're not doing this shit no more. Shit is over. You don't have the control that you think you do. Me personally, you can call it God, you can call it your higher self, whatever, all these other names people say. Another version of me was like, nah. Whatever power you thought you had over this man, I'm taking it back and giving it back to him. How about that? And yeah. And this girl hurt me very bad. We have had multiple romantic interactions on and off over the years. And I call myself trying to give her a second chance. And she let me down all over again. She claimed that she was in love with me. And, I'm like, well, don't say it, show it. Third time, let me down again. I'm like, nah. So this time I actually, because all the other times over the years, like I kept the line of communication open. But this time, I'm like, you've shown me 3 times. Like, you are not going to get it together. Like, when I say 3 times, I mean like 3 times over a certain, number of years that we have tried to like have a relationship, that you don't want to be in a relationship, you don't want to commit to one person, and that's fine. Just don't act like you do. You know what I'm saying? Some people just don't want relationships. Some people just, they need to be, dealing with multiple people, because they feel like they get bored if, they can't, have multiple, and that's fine. Like, do what you do. I'm not here to judge anybody's preference on, their romantic love life. But just don't try to get me to be okay with it if I'm not. Find somebody that's okay with open relationships and rock out with them. I'm not that guy, and I'm not afraid to say it. The problem is a lot of men are afraid. Again, they're afraid to say no. They're afraid to say, no, I'm not with that, or no, I'm not okay with that, or no. If we're going to date, if this is going to be a relationship, you can't be doing that. No, it ain't no, well, no. If you keep doing it, I'm out. Most men, even the men that are doing really well in life, not all, but a lot of these men, successful men, they strictly just focus on getting the money. They didn't focus on the part where it came to, respecting yourself enough to not tolerate certain things from women. They learned how to get the bag. They learned how to make the money, but they didn't learn how to just simply walk away from a fine female. When I say a fine female, I mean a very attractive woman. And just, like I said, the sex might be good. A lot of times that's something that just makes men just kind of weak. I know, I'm a man. I know what it's like. That was part of one of the reasons why my last relationship, I had a hard time, because she did that. She definitely was good at that, but it's at the end of the day, like, I fuck the sex. If you're poisonous to my soul, you know what I'm saying? It's a wrap. And like I said in other videos, men, again, it's a double-edged sword. Men, they complain about a lot of how women act today, but again, they wouldn't and couldn't do that if there wasn't something about us that allowed for that type of environment, right? Something about men has gotten weak where women no longer respect men. They take them for granted, to where women, they feel like it doesn't matter how bad they treat them, what they do, how disrespectful they are, that man or those men, there will always be somebody there to be like, hey, girl, I'll treat you right. Because there's always a thirsty man that's just waiting for the nigga she with to break up with her or leave her. And they know that. So it's like, well, women, they don't feel like there's any consequences for when they're wrong. This is why, especially nowadays, there's literally no sense of accountability in anything. Like, there's no sense of accountability or consequence behind, when they do a person wrong in dating. This is why cheating is so normal, because it's like, well, I can cheat because, well, if he leaves me, look at all these guys in my DMs, and men, when they get with a woman, they don't even conversate with her enough to, see what she's about. You know what I'm saying? They just go, dang, she pretty. You know what I'm saying? And women too, like, when they meet a guy, it has nothing to do about his morals, his character. It's like, okay, is he cute? Which is, I get it. You have to be attracted to that person, but it just stops there. I just saw a video today about a few hours ago, or hour and a half ago, Bad Barbie, where she's literally screaming her head off because apparently the guy that she's dating, y'all heard of Bad Barbie, right? Bad Barbie, the internet meme girl. Catch Me Outside, that girl. Well, she's gotten rich now, and she's got some money, and she's become successful apparently. And apparently the guy that she's dating, he's just dogging her out, right? And in this video, she's crying, she's complaining about her man is fucking other women, and she's basically begging him to stop cheating on her, and she's crying. I might post it on on Instagram or something out, or YouTube, or on the link to this video. But she's crying, complaining, and the guy's just kind of like, nonchalantly, just like, yeah, you tripping, you faking. But she's like just, crying, looks very, distraught and just torn up over this guy cheating and dogging her out. But, he couldn't do that if she didn't stay around and, say, hey, I accept this. And ironically, those are the very types of men that women will chase after the hardest, because they feel like, well, he must be more valuable because he can fuck all these bitches. So in, girl math equates to, if he's able to get more pussy, then he's more valuable as a man, even if he treats me like shit. You know what I'm saying? Since all these other women want to fuck him, well, I must need to keep him. That's the mindset of, females. If you can get other bitches on a regular basis, well, then I got to keep you. Even if you're cheating on me, but they want you, I want to keep you. So, and nowadays, most men feel like, unless they're showing a woman how in demand they are in the dating pool and in the dating world, that's their way of showing women that, hey, I'm that guy with or without you. But my point is, most people, they just get caught up on the physical appearance and, if the sex is good, that too. And they don't actually basically find out who this person truly is. And that used to be me in the past. I used to just say, hey man, this girl is so pretty, man. I bet she makes some fine ass kids. But, and that's, you think about shit like that. I mean, it's just like, most people don't stop and think like, is this person going to make my life a living hell? Like, I hear about and see things that women do to men, and I think, oh my God, like, she's fine, but if I was with her, I would want to literally, jump off a bridge, I can't say it on here, but you know what I'm trying to say. Like, some women do things to men, and men do it too, but when a woman does certain shit like that to a man, it's almost like it's way worse. It's way worse. And again, this is why I'm so careful. I'm very careful with any woman that I get close to, I let around me, because I'm now giving them access and the ability to very negatively affect me. And so anybody that I'll let near me, even a little bit, I have to at least have a little bit of faith that you're not a shitty person, So, and again, when it came to that person that kind of ghosted me, and it wasn't even necessarily like a romantic situation. It was kind of just like an outing, but it was just the fact that she didn't even have the common courtesy to say, hey, I gotta cancel. Like, that shit matters. If you can't even say, hey, I can't go again, it's a very simple thing. It takes like 2 seconds. If you can't even say, hey, I'm not going again, odds are you're a very selfish, self-absorbed person. You're selfish. You play mind games and you're going to waste my time. That's what I got from that interaction. So yeah, I blocked her. And I doubt that she watches my channel, but if she does, and if you are watching this, like, that's why I blocked you, because you wasted my time. You didn't have the common courtesy to say, hey, I'm busy again, or I can't get a bed. If you would have just called and said something, I would have said, all right, cool. And like I said, I wasn't even really pressed about it. But again, I'm a man. I am about principles. You know, if a woman feels like your time isn't even worth, you know, a simple common courtesy of letting you know that she's not going to be able to come on something that she suggested and planned, then 9 times out of 10, she's very, very selfish, you know? And again, very attractive woman, very, very cute, very attractive, you know, but again, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care how attractive you are. Like, if you are on some bullshit, I will block you in a heartbeat. I will walk away in a heartbeat. No fucks given. Because my thing is, if you don't have basic manners, if you don't have basic common courtesy, and I said this in other videos in the past, if you don't have integrity, if you are a type of woman, and this is just for me, this is for me. I can't speak for every other man. This is for me. If you are the type of woman that gives multiple men access to your body on a regular basis, that's like, to me, if you can't commit to one man, and again, I understand that people live different lifestyles. So if you live that lifestyle, this does not apply to you. But if you are a exclusive relationship type of woman, but at the same time allowing many men access to your body sexually on a regular basis, then your beauty, your looks, to me, they have no value. No value. So many women and men get so stuck on beauty. And I was just like that. Like, man, she's so pretty. Oh man, I would be so lucky if I can get with her. Man, if I can get with a girl like that. Yeah, if you can get with a girl like that and she acts and she treats you like shit, what good is it? So many men, I hate to repeat myself, but so many men, man, it's just, again, if we as men want to start getting treated better by women, we have to, and it's not even about control, y'all. I'm not trying to control nobody. And the thing about it is, when you talk this way, people try to make it seem like you're trying to control them. It's like, no, I'm not trying to control nobody. It's just that if you want to be with me, this is the kind of man that I am. This is the kind of respect that I think, at a very basic level, men and women deserve, that want to be in a exclusive relationship. Again, if you don't want an exclusive relationship, then this doesn't apply to you. Click off the video. It's not for you. If you're into open relationships and polygamy and that kind of thing, this video is not for you. I'm talking about people that want to be either in a committed relationship, married, or something like that, in a long-term, long-lasting, strong relationship. I'm talking to those people, right? If you're not into that, if that's not your life, if you don't care about having a long-lasting, committed connection, then obviously this is not directed towards you. Doesn't apply to you. So, but yeah, for the people that want that strong relationship, you have to start having standards, and with standards come boundaries, and with boundaries comes consequences. Like, hey, if you do this thing, I'm out. You don't have access to me. In other words, a lot of these women that think they have all these options, they only think that because so many men are so weak and afraid to say, no, that ain't gonna work. You trying to talk to me, Joe, and Sam in a fucking love triangle and think that I'm going to just like, oh yeah, sure. Like I'm going to just be option number 3 if Joe or Sam doesn't give you the attention you want this weekend. And so many men accept that and normalize that. And that is the normal dating model now for a lot of women. You know, if the main guy that I want is tied up with his chick, or this married man that's actually married that's sleeping with me and cheating on his wife with me, if he's tied up, then I got Joe and Sam to take me out this weekend or take me on a vacation because, you know, and then next week or next month, you know, the married guy, he'll give me the attention I want and I'll just drop Joe and Sam to get the guy I really want. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is a lot of the modern dating model. Or they have these, you know, quote unquote guy friends that they they disguise as friends, but they low key be fucking on the low. Like whenever a woman says she has a guy friend, you know, if I'm interested in a woman and she always constantly talks about all of her guy friends, in my mind, I don't complain about it. In my mind, I just make a mental note. Yeah, you can't take her serious. You know, I used to be the kind of guy that would say something like, hey, you know, why are you always around these guys? I don't say shit. Because women know that men know that, okay, half of them niggas that they call guy friends, they either fucked in the past, or those guys are trying to fuck them right now, or they're about to fuck them, or somewhere in between there. Very, very rarely do guys hang around women on a regular basis, you know, alone, that do not want to fuck them. I'm not saying never, but it's very, very rare. It's rare. Most of the women that I call my friends, we were friends with benefits. We was fucking, or I wanted to fuck them. One of the two. And the first chance that I got, I was smashing. I was going to smash. I was going to crack. I have no problem admitting that. I don't care if it sounds bad. I'm going to keep it 100. Like, there was this white girl that I had met one day, this is years ago, and we were friends in public, but I was just waiting for the chance to fuck the shit out of her. I was playing the role of friend. Yeah, buddy, yeah. But I'm like, yeah, I'm just waiting. And when I'm petty, when I realized that she friend zoned me, I didn't get mad. I didn't flip out or anything. I just basically just stopped reaching out to her. I didn't say why. I didn't formally announce it. I just simply, when she would call to hang out, I just would ignore her call. And some people would say, oh, that's mean. I'm like, yeah, but you know, that's basically why I was hanging out with her. And once I realized that wasn't an option, I just didn't really see the point of hanging out with her because I knew what my intentions were, you know? And maybe that is wrong on some level, but at least I'm honest enough to like not, you know, I don't know. I've been the guy that just waits around as the so-called guy friend and hoping that one day she sees me as, you know, a good romantic partner. I've done that, and it's horrible. It is horrible. And while I'm not saying that you should only be friends with a woman, I'm not saying that you should only interact with women for sex, but if you're a grown man that's attracted to women and you're hanging around a woman on a regular basis, if you're single, if you're single, or even if you're not single, I don't really see the point in it if it's not somewhat romantic. Like, what is, especially if you're single, um, I personally don't really see what I can do with a female that I couldn't do with male friends, you know. And so many people use the excuse of, oh, well, I don't get along with women, I don't get along with men, you know. And it's just like, I mean, it's not convenient, you know. But you know, again, if I am dealing with a woman or considering a woman, if she has tons of guy friends, she's always around some guy, in my mind, I say, okay, you know, I just know, in my mind, I just know that I can't really expect too much exclusivity from this person. It's going to either be like just like a strictly, you know, sexual thing. And I'm not even really into that. So more than likely, it probably won't be any interaction at all. But, you know, it may just end up being like you know, we can talk every now and then, but if I'm attracted to you and I want a romantic relationship with you, the fact that you do see me as only as a friend would probably annoy me. And I'm probably not going to want to even, like, you know, talk to you as a friend because I don't look at you as a friend. And when you don't look at a woman as a friend, you know, it's annoying as a man for her to just, you know, be acting like all buddy with you. And women, a lot of women, they can't understand that. They get offended when a man just says, hey, you know, it's nothing. I mean, it's cool. I'm not mad, but, you know, I just don't really see the point in us just, you know, hanging out as friends when I see you with somebody I want to fuck, basically. You know what I'm saying? It's women like to have access to guy friends because it's just a convenience thing for them. But men is like, well, I mean, I want to fuck you. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that you don't want to fuck me is annoying to me because you're acting like we're in this platonic thing, and it's definitely not platonic for me. Like, when you turn around, I'm probably looking at your ass. I'm probably looking at your ass sometimes. But you call me bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, it's weird, it's awkward, it's dumb. And like, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like, you know, I don't want to fuck you. Like, I'm a grown man. I want to fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're friends, but you're not my friend. You're not my bestie. You're a bestie that I'm just calling bestie because I want to actually fuck you. And I'm blunt like that. I can't be fake about it. Like, I'm not a little boy. Like, don't try to little boy me and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? And anytime somebody that I'm interested in tries to, like, you know, little boy me and, you know, make it seem like I'm just your bro, I'm like, no, I definitely want to fuck you. Like, and I respect if you don't want to fuck me, but, you know, respectfully, like, I'm not going to sit here and play like this role and act like it's something that it's not. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I've gotten older. I don't get mad and show out. I just kind of just stayed away. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times when I've done that, they would actually get mad at me. Well, why'd you stop calling me? And, you know, we used to hang out all the time. And I told you, nigga, I told you I was trying to fuck you. I was trying to crack. And you respectfully denied me or rejected me. And, you know, respectfully, I don't see the point in, like, being in your face all the time, because this is what happens, okay? Because I've been a friend that wants to fuck the girl that friends on me. And what happens is the guys that they do, you know, that's not you, they end up complaining to you about the niggas that they actually giving the pussy to. And they complain to you like you some type of gay faggot friend. Like, this is the shit I had to deal with. So I said, I will never in my life be in a girl's friend zone. I gotta hear about the nigga that's getting the pussy that I wanted. I mean, she would literally come to me and complain to me about, yeah, we was out in the woods one day. We started having sex in the woods, and I just gave it to him. And I'm just sitting here like, is this bitch serious? Talking about all their sexual and then complaining about how he's not acting right and doing her wrong, and he cheated on her, and, you know, he's doing this and doing that, and then she gets back with him and starts fucking him again. And it's just this repetitive cycle of this nigga's getting his pussy and he's treating her like shit. And I'm, you know what I'm saying? I'm just like, no, I said, I will never in my life be a woman's emotional tampon. I will never do it. It's horrible. It's horrible, especially when you're attracted to them. Never in my life. I promise myself. I don't care how much I like her. If I'm attracted to a woman sexually, I refuse to be that male best friend that's pretending that he doesn't want to fuck her when he does. I'm sorry. I give no fucks. I'm not going to do it. No man, if you like a woman in a sexual, romantic way, do what you want to do. But if you know that you look at her in a romantic way, you should not be like, yeah, okay, we can be friends. Just know what you're signing up for. And then also too, like when this is the thing about it. When they put you in that friend zone, like their female nature kind of comes out still, because when you're out, I know when we're out in public, she still kind of expected me to kind of do like male, like things that men would do if like they were dating. Like I've had women that didn't claim me as their man. We were like kind of like somewhere in between. We were like fuck a little bit, but like we weren't like official. Like she wouldn't claim me as her man, but we were like kind of fuck around some, or like, kind of like be booed up kind of, or like just be kind of making out some, you know what I'm saying? But then like we're single though. But then she would kind of still expect me to pay for shit if we went out and, do this, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It's like if we're having sex, maybe I might do that, but it's just like, yeah, but you're fucking with other men though. So like really, if you're fucking with other men, like why would I sit here and do like exclusive shit? Like I don't pay for women typically that don't basically claim me as their boyfriend. You know what I'm saying? It's like, for what? Like, I'm not your man. We're just, you know what I'm saying? Like, it don't work like that. Either we together or we're not, or we're just fucking and that's it. Crack and then go home. Crack and then go home. Or go to your side nigga or whatever the fuck you got going on. But I don't do this whole like, in between thing where, we're kind of together, but we're kind of not. But I expect you to do the things that my man would do. Like, no, it don't. No, we're not doing that. So, yeah, man, I just think that a lot of men really need to like grow a set of balls and like and respect themselves more, because like I said, I see it, I hear about it, and so many men just, they're so afraid to walk away from a beautiful woman. And like I said, your beauty to me personally has zero value if you don't have certain qualities, if you don't have integrity, if you're not, honest, you know what I'm saying? If I can't trust you, if you're kind of like just, you're giving yourself to everybody, like your beauty means nothing to me. Like it's worthless to me. I don't care about it. It only means something to me. Like if you really want me to like be head over heels crazy about you, like if you are somebody I can trust, like that's the type of woman that I like just go crazy over. Like even if she's like not like drop dead gorgeous, if she's like just basic in looks, if she has integrity, if she's like not fucking everybody, everything, like those are the type of women that I fall for like hard. But when I know like you're just fucking everybody and you're with everybody and everybody has access to you sexually and you with Joe and Sam and Johnny, and I'm just like, yeah, you cute, but who cares? You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I have ranted enough. I gotta try to go get some of these designs done. Because I didn't really do any yesterday. I got kind of lazy. I see we have one viewer here. Whoever you are, nice to see you. I'm about to end this live because I need to try to get some more of these designs done. But yeah, I will be going live every Sunday. I may do it more, but I'm just trying to get used to doing it in that formal kind of setting of like the mic and the table, and I'm still working on getting the green screen going. But yeah, so every Sunday I will be doing a live podcast style type of live streaming video. And I was saying earlier that I want that to be like a really good place to discuss and have a discourse about anything and everything. Like the topic for Sunday, this podcast or this streaming this Sunday is going to be loneliness, because I feel like it's a very widely talked about topic, and I just wanted to discuss that, men and women, and the what inspired that talking point was I saw a video on YouTube about a woman that had committed she basically offed herself, and she had came online and she had made like a live video and was basically talking about how she was struggling with wanting to take herself out, and due to things like being lonely and just kind of feeling like everything was pointless. She didn't have, I think she was single, she was struggling financially, and she just was, you know, so it was sad. Like, she actually got on like live and was talking about it, and like she killed herself. She killed herself. I mean, it was, I might post a video, I might post a link to it, but that was one of the things that kind of inspired that topic for this live that I'm going to do on this Sunday coming up. And I want to get some good talking points and kind of like just really dive into it. And, if anyone watches, or they can go back and watch, just, chime in and tell me what they think about it, and why they think that why they think that so many people are lonely in this day and age, because loneliness is a very big problem now. I know people say it's good to be alone and to be by yourself and be comfortable being alone, but I do think there is a such thing as being by yourself. And again, I'm an introvert. Like, I like to be alone. Like, I love this job, but I think that human beings need some level of social interaction for their brain to kind of just to be well-rounded, human beings. I'm not saying that, we need to be around people 24/7, but I just feel like, at some point, human interaction is kind of good for your mental. So I just want to talk about it. But anyway, y'all, until the next live, I'm going to end this one. Y'all take it easy. Later.